This is the Bloomberg Business of Sports show, where we explore the big money issues in the world of sports. I'm Michael Barr for Scarlett Fu and Damian Sassower. 1Huddle is a platform that supports workforce training through games, and it's already being used by the San Francisco 49ers, the Golden State Warriors, Denver International Airport, and more. We have the founder and CEO, Sam Caiucci, who is here to talk to us about 1Huddle. First of all, Sam, thank you so much for joining us on the Bloomberg Business of Sports.
Thanks for having me.
So, Sam, what is it? What is 1Huddle?
Sure. 1Huddle we're a tech company, early stage. We turn anything that a employee needs to know into a game on their phone. So I'm sure all of us can remember a time, maybe it happened this week, maybe it happened, over our career, where we got onboarded and we were forced to watch a bunch of videos or read a bunch of manuals and click through a bunch of stuff. We take, again, anything an employee needs to know to get them ready to work, get them prepared, get them coached up. And again, we turn it into a mobile-based, interactive skill game. Makes it more fun, makes it more engaging, makes it more competitive.
Very good. I like that.
So your clients include the San Francisco 49ers, the Golden State Warriors, among other teams, among other franchises. Tell us how you tailor your offerings to sports teams and sports franchises.
Sure. As a startup, actually, our first client ever was a sports team. Client number one was Monumental Sports and Entertainment. Ted Leonsis and the team owned the Washington Capitals and the Washington Wizards. And when I was talking to those folks, one of their biggest challenges is, how do we get a new ticket sales rep, a new guest services rep, somebody who just moved to D.C. and needs to know a lot about a venue that hosts 300 events a year, and their revenue impacting, because these are entry-level roles that are selling tickets, sponsorship, partnership, everything around the venue. So what we did for Monumental, what we do for Madison Square Garden, some of the brands you mentioned, is we'll take the playbooks and the seating charts and the feature and benefit sheets, and we have a proprietary platform that will convert that material into a library of trivia games. So think of it like some folks may know Duolingo to learn a language, or Trivia Crack or Quiz Up or other trivia games, or Wordle. So now, if you're that ticket sales rep that just got hired, you will learn everything you need to know about the venue, the team, the tickets you're selling by playing these series of games, and games drop every week. So it keeps it really competitive and connects everybody on a leaderboard. And so we're not only just skilling people up, but connecting them more, which I think is really important today when we think about the future of work.
Sam, I love it. I mean, what we're talking about here is the broader trend of gamification, right? Whatever that means. But, my question for you is, do you find that your clients are more interested in potential productivity gains, or is it really more about reducing the cost of compliance?
So before COVID, it was definitely compliance and, sales, service related. Anything that impacted revenue was priority number one. Coming out the other side of COVID, keeping people together, keeping people connected has become more important than ever. I think, Gallup, who does, 2,500 reports every 10 seconds, it feels like, they just came out with their most recent one. It said that employee engagement is at a 9-year low, even lower than it was during the pandemic. Employees are showing up to work. It's not that they don't know what to do. It's also that they may not want to do it. So today, some of the most popular games we build for some of the organizations we work with, like UEFA and Madison Square Garden, are games on each other. Games on knowing what the community is doing, knowing who the players are on the court, knowing about who your team member, your colleague is standing to your left or your right. Because we find that if you feel better connected to the place you come to every day, just like players on the field, you're more likely to perform at your best.
Talking with Sam Caiucci, CEO and founder of 1Huddle. One thing I like about this, Sam, well, a number of things, but at least 81% of the games are played outside of the office. For a simpleton like me, I need a question like, what do you tell your boss? A, ready to go to work, or B, woo, did I party hard last night? And I don't even want to tell you about the fines I racked up. What you need to do is have something like this that have the entertainment value and the excitement outside of the office, and it's important.
You mentioned gamification a second ago, and the average millennial will have played over 10,000 hours on a game platform before 21 years old. Gen Z is beating that trend, and Gen Alpha is coming up right behind them. So if you're tired of complaining about millennial and Gen Z, get ready. The point you just made about off the clock, we think is so important. Workers today need to get up to speed faster than ever before, given the rate of their job changing. And in a sports environment where information is changing rapidly or AI is affecting the functions of work, we need to use technology to meet workers wherever they are. And it can't just be, between 9 and 5. So we think that how do you do that? You've got to make it fun. You got to make it interactive. That's why we made it a game. It's got to be something that's mobile so it can hit them wherever they are. That's why we play on iOS and Android. But we think that the concept of edutainment, educating people as you're entertaining them, is a really powerful way to get our workforce ready to work.
Sam, you are also an adjunct professor in global sports business at Rutgers as part of the MS program. Can you tell us a little bit about how you see AI and software changing the future sports executive's role?
I think it's going to change everything. I think that there's, so much talk about, AI. There's two sides of the fence. It's going to take every job, or it's going to just, create more jobs. I think it's going to land someplace in the middle. What excites me about AI is it's going to force our executives in the sports management and sports world to be great at being human. Because the one thing AI can't do, the one thing that machines can't do, is be better than us at being human. And as we use ChatGPT to prompt responses, that's all well and good. But the innovations around AI are really going to force human resource teams, leadership executives to find ways to be the best form of what we are every day.
What's an example of being human? Being human, in my mind, means making mistakes and also admitting to them when you make a mistake and also stumbling upon something that you didn't intend.
I think that it means that we have to being able to relate and connect to each other, being able to find novelty, I think that being able to connect with our learned experiences with each other. You think about workers at work every day who are doing repetitive job functions. We weren't built to do a lot of what work has become. And I think that what AI is going to do is it's going to take a lot of repetitive functions away, because the one thing that a machine can do is repetitive functions better than humans. But that's going to free us up to be able to use the power of connectivity and the power of strategy, and then free us up to do the things that I think that as humans we were intended to do. And I think we see that in the world of sport. I teach a sales track and revenue generation class in sports. 10 years ago, salespeople used to write a lot of emails and set them on automated send and, cold calls that were largely being robotic. These innovations in AI are freeing up sales forces to be able to do things that connect with their consumers better, and in many ways has them stepping out from behind the computer and getting more face-to-face with our guests and our customer.
Sam, I think Scarlett asked it a little bit earlier. I'm going to ask it a different way. Why sport franchises? I mean, why the front and back offices of these major sport franchises? It seems like a little bit of a niche market, no? I mean, talk to us. Why are they such a big consumer of your product?
So when I started the company, like any tech startup, you try to find your first market to enter. And when we looked around, we said that what is something in every market that brings everybody together? You look at LA, you look at San Francisco, you look at New York, you look at DC. Where does everybody come, regardless of vertical, regardless of industry, regardless of wage class? And it's the sports venue. It's Capital One Arena, it's Madison Square Garden, it's Levi's Stadium, it's SoFi Stadium. And we said that, as a early stage company, we have to either succeed fast or fail fast. And we said there's only 120 plus sports franchises in the U.S. Let's target those as our starting point. And, it's been it's been an opportunity for us to not just land and learn, but we've also simultaneously learned that at a sports venue, the types of people that come into a sports venue to work every day range our community when it comes to socioeconomic backgrounds. You literally have hourly workers who are walking in to work the gate, who have more than likely don't have a college degree, more than likely struggle with credentials. And then you also have someone who walks into the corner office who has a 4-year or advanced degree, who's making 6 figures, and they're working side by side. So one part of me as an early stage company, which we said we wanted to do this because it would be an opportunity for us to learn our product can affect people in a community. And in the process, we learned that what 1Huddle is really doing is not just training people for work, but it's creating an environment where every worker, regardless of where you sit in your community, can compete to win the job that you may want to pursue. But right now, you may just be in concessions. But if you want to be the ticket sales rep next, win the game.
Sam Siucci, CEO and founder of 1Huddle. I'm expecting the box home game version of this because this can take over. I like this.
I'm expecting sport books to start making lines on whether or not somebody passes their compliance test.
See,
that would be wild.
This is why we can't have nice things. See, thank you, Sam. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us on the Bloomberg Business of Sports.